it's your Kayce, and welcome to another episode of Unboxed Radio, a show where we talk about the latest and biggest news stories in the world of sneakers. Today, we are missing our co-host Corey, but I have my friend Marco here with me. Marco, how are you doing? How was your weekend?
I'm doing well. My weekend was too short, but I'm excited to be here, and some big news last week, so I'm excited to get into it.
So did you or were you able to cop any of the drops that released this weekend?
I didn't, but it was my fault. I didn't prepare well enough, and I wasn't in the live release lounge with the team doing that. But I'm gonna be ready for the next one, especially the concepts. I'm gonna need those next time, so I'm gonna actually prep.
I think as a group, we collectively all missed that drop, and I know we were like talking about it on Twitter, which I was so sick about. Like as soon as I seen Corey tweet about it, I was like, oh my God. And I ran to the SoleSavy chat and I was like literally dropping like in different like groups. And I was like, if anybody has a plug on the size 6, like please let me know. I need them. I was so sad. And I think I missed it by like, I think it was like not even like 30 minutes, like an hour. I know that's a long time for like a drop, but
we're gonna get the next one. I can feel it.
I can keep my fingers crossed. Okay, so moving into the first segment, we are going to talk about News Unboxed, a segment where we highlight the most popular and trending news stories in the world of sneakers and much more. I know this is a highly anticipated topic that we're going to talk about, but it is finally happening. The Chicago Air Jordan 1s is returning later this year. The shoe will feature its original colorway with a vintage age look that's closer to the 85 pair, which I know everyone is like anticipating and excited about. This will reportedly include an improved toe box. And the last time this shoe was retroed was in 2015. Pairs are reselling for close to $2,000. So the 2022 version of the Chicago Air Jordan 1 is set to drop this holiday season. Make sure you guys keep in locked with SoleSavy for this release. Of course, Marco's gonna, do his little low-key flex on us. But Marco, talk to me about your excitement around the Air Jordan 1s.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. This is the 85 Chicago, the shoe that started it all for MJ, for many parts of sneaker culture and the crossover of basketball culture into a lot of worlds in the mainstream world. So this is finally happening. This has been rumored for years, right? I feel like people thought it was going to happen in Chicago during All-Star. People even thought it was going to happen last holiday when they saw the colorway leak for the patent breads. So sneakerheads have been anticipating this drop forever. The amount of people that are into sneakers and into the Jordan 1s since the last drop, half a decade ago, has grown so much that the demand for this is going to be crazy. But I'm excited to see what Jordan does with it. They could have went the easy route, just a regular retro that nobody would have had a problem with, but I know they're going to come with some special twist. Brand hasn't officially confirmed it yet, but there are enough sources out there that are saying that this is happening. So it's exciting, and it will definitely be the drop of the year. No question about that.
So you're calling that right now, drop of the year?
I don't know if it'll be the best shoe of the year. I hope it will, and I think it has the potential to be, but I'm just talking about the most anticipated, the biggest drop of the year. There's no question that all eyes are going to be on this AJ1 High 85 vintage inspired colorway.
So they said that there'd be like an improved toe box. What do you think that looks like?
When we launched the first ever 85 inspired cut of the New Beginnings pack back in 2019, I want to say, I got to work on that story at Jordan, and the team didn't cut any corners trying to get that shoe to the exact specs of the 85. So it actually looks, if you look at that shoe or you look at the neutral grays from last year, or even the Georgetowns that are dropping here pretty soon, there's significant differences between that and a regular OG1 High that you would get on a regular release. The leather is a lot rougher, but a lot more consistent with what it would have been like in 1985. A little bit higher. Again, some alterations to the toe box. I'm hearing some stuff on the swoosh, but I'm excited because if that one was already really well done, in my opinion, and now they've had a few years to even rethink that one, learn from some things, I can't imagine how good this one's going to be.
Yeah, I know for me, when it comes to like re-releasing on the AJ1s, my issue is always like the leather changing. So I'm excited to see what these Chicagos have in store.
Yeah. DP and myself spent a good 30, 45 minutes on the SoleSavy podcast last week, the day it broke, talking about it. So if you're really into the shoe, you want to learn more about maybe what's coming, go check that out.
Absolutely. Okay, so staying in sequence, according to Sneaker Files, the Chicago Air Jordan 2s will release this holiday season. It will return in white, red, and the black colorway and may feature an improved toe box. It sounds like the Air Jordan 1s. Kicks will reportedly be packaged in a replica Air Jordan 2 Wings box. I know that was one of my favorite boxes. And last time this shoe drop was in 2016, but in the low top version. Again, stay tuned to SoleSavy to make sure you can find out more about this release. Marco, is this another anticipated drop for you? What do you think about this?
Definitely anticipated. I'm genuinely curious to see what the reaction to an AJ2 OG is going to be like. We know that the AJ2 is having perhaps its best run in its history because, thanks to the late Virgil Abloh with his collab last year on the Off-White 2 lows. And then there's obviously been the leaks and the early looks of the Union 2 that people seem to be really excited. I saw another collab leak over the weekend. So the brand is definitely going to go hard on the 2. However, I'm curious to see if the same sort of reception that the Off-White 2 got and maybe this Union 2 got is going to be, that energy is going to be matched when it comes to the OG models, because the 2 has never been a great or a super popular shoe for Jordan heads. There's a lot of history behind it. There's even the story about Jordan himself not liking the 2 and threatening to leave the brand before Tinker came and saved the day with the AJ3 and changed his mind. So I'm curious to see if again the energy from the Union, the Alma Maniere, and some of these other collabs is gonna cross over, because the time is right for it. If the 2 was ever gonna have a run and go mainstream, it's gonna be this year.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think that there is a lot of hype behind the 2. With like the Off-White drop. Me personally, I was never a fan of the 2s, and I felt like that 1 to 2 change. Because it's like if you look at 1, 2, 3, 4. Like if you look at further down the line, it kind of gradually changes. If there's some similarities, but it's the 1 to 2 is so drastic to me. With the round toe. Again, it's way too wide for me. It looks like I have boats on my shoes when I have them on, so I'm not a huge fan of them, but I definitely think there's a lot of hype behind them. And I think that there is a certain sneakerhead that can really rock the 2s. Okay, so during a recent appearance on Full Size Run, Chris Gibbs revealed that the Union Air Jordan 2 was originally scheduled to drop last year. So again, back to the 2s. Gibbs says the release got pushed back due to COVID and supply chain issues, and said he still doesn't know a release date for this shoe yet. He also revealed that he has not received round 2 of his Air Jordan 2 sample pairs, and he has also noted that on the side tag it reads HO21, which was a tentative release for the shoe. We are unsure if the tag will get updated, but Gibbs says he likes it the way it is. Marco, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a great episode too, and anytime Chris Gibbs is talking about sneakers, I'm all ears, because he again is one of the absolute hit makers in the industry right now, and he's been doing it for a really, really long time. We all talked about our love for the Union Dunks recently, and I'm sure with the Union 2, he's gonna have another hit on their hands. It's an interesting look at where we are as an industry, though, with all of the shipment delays. Obviously, the COVID-19 impacting that, factories closing, things of that nature. Because we're used to delays maybe a month or 2. We're seeing delays that are entire seasons, if not a year, right? So it'll be curious to see. But I also think it might actually help the 2, because it sounded like they were supposed to go really hard with the AJ2 last year, either starting or around the Off-White, and then we were going to get hit with the Union and maybe even, I don't know when the Alma Maniere was supposed to drop, but there are all these shoes that are kind of waiting to be finished. So it could make the 2's run and popularity last from a season or 2 into a year or 2, because they're so spread out now. So it is an interesting look at that. And if those of you who are interested in learning a little bit more about the shipment delays and what can we expect from the next couple of seasons in the footwear industry, check out DP's podcast, the Tier Zero podcast, where he spent a good 30-40 minutes talking about this topic.
Yeah, I feel like if they drop this year, it'd be kind of like the year of the 2s. And I feel like with the hype of it, I feel like we might see more collabs or more colorways drop in that silhouette. So I'm excited to see what happens behind the 2s. Me, like I said, me not being really a huge fan of it. We'll see if my mind changes by the end of the year.
I wouldn't blame you. There's some big collabs that sounds like that are in the works.
Yeah. So moving on to my favorite segment of the show, it is Drops of the Week. A look at some of the most coveted sneaker releases of the week. Are these kicks a buy or a pass? First sneakers up are the Air Jordan 6 Retro Women's in Mint Foam, releasing today, March 8th at $200. Thoughts on these, Marco? Are they a buy or a pass? What do you think?
I think this is a clean colorway, and the Jordan Women's team has been quietly putting out really great shoes for a few years now since the big relaunch. And again, this is a clean colorway. I don't think this is going to have anybody lining up or going crazy trying to get these. However, this is a nice looking 6. It's clean, it's subtle. I do like that seafoam hit. It's a good shoe. Obviously, it's a pass for me. I don't think I think it's only women's sizing here, but I like this shoe because it's just they're constantly delivering good quality GRs on top of all of the collabs that sometimes are a lot more difficult to get. If you really like shoes or you're just getting into shoes and you want to start building your collection, this is not a bad 6 to start with.
Okay, so better question. Would you buy them for like your girl or like your sister or something? Like, with this, obviously not for you, but would you buy it for somebody else? Would you want to see it on their feet?
I think the 6 is an interesting, like it's not a 1 or a dunk or even a 3 or a 4. It's a little bit harder of a shoe to pull off, especially if somebody, you know, that's not part of their style. So it would depend on the person, right? If there was somebody who really loved 6 retros, I don't see, like, you can't really go wrong with this. It's not the most hype shoe in the world, but if you had a clean fit on with this, like, they definitely look nice. So it depends on the person, because the 6 isn't for everyone either.
Yeah, for me, I love 6s, but I don't love this colorway. And I know I've talked about not really liking like predominantly black shoes. I really don't like predominantly white shoes. You know what I mean? I mean, real, like, I don't know. Yeah, like the only like all white sneaker like that I will really rock is like Air Force Ones. You know what I mean? Like, I even had like the like a pair of like white dunks, and I think it was like that really, really light gray color. And I really didn't even like those. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is. This colorway, you know, is nice. I think it, like you said, it's very clean. I see this being on like the feet of like more so like the younger sneakerhead crowd. So like high school, college, but more so definitely I see like high schoolers rocking this. But yeah, no, it's a pass for me. But again, I love what Jordan is doing on the women's side. So I appreciate it. Okay, so the next sneakers we have are the Sakai Nike Vapor Waffle in white gum and black gum. I know we all collectively love that gum bottom. Both pairs are releasing Thursday, March 10th at $108 each. Are these a buy or a pass?
These are a pass for me, but I know a lot of people like this silhouette. There was a few of these colorways that I liked, but I you know, I love the first collab, or the waffle collab they did first, and I have a few pairs of those. These not as much, but I'm a little confused here, because I kind of feel like they had moved on from this silhouette, and now it seems they're coming back. I'm unsure if this is like a delay, like maybe like the topic we were just speaking on, the Union 2s, or if they're just saying, hey, we know people like these shoes, we're going to drop clean colorways every few seasons and make sure the people that want them can have them, because that's cool too, right? Like, this is a shoe that definitely took off, and if that trend is still trickling down to maybe the people that weren't into sneakers a year or two ago when they first started hitting the market, or it took them a while to grow, for the shoe to grow on them, this is perfect timing for them, right? Because I don't know if this shoe is going to have the hype that it did a year or two ago, and hopefully that means it's easier for people to cop who are maybe getting their first Sakai Nike collab.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, if we look back at the Sakai collabs, like, and we look at like what they're being sold at now, I know that they were super hard to get, and the price that they're at right now, like the ones I want, I will not pay for, you know? So I think that with this drop, hopefully, like you said, people will be able to get their hands on them a little bit easier, especially them being like just like the simple like white and gum and then the black and gum colorway. I'm gonna contradict myself, because I know I said I don't like predominantly black shoes or predominantly white shoes. The black shoes, no question, I would pass on those, hard pass. It's giving me like black Air Force One vibes on a better silhouette. But the white ones I would totally rock on like a spring, summer day, you know, really casually. Again, it's like, I think it's more so the silhouette than the colorway for me on this one. So if I could buy the white and gums, I would pass on the black and gums, but I know that there are a lot of people that love the Sakai collabs that can't get their hands on them, so I hope that this is an opportunity for them to, like you said, get their first pairs.
Well, this is also a great opportunity for the Deadass segment from a couple of weeks ago about the guy that was looking for a little extra lift on his height.
Right.
Shoes, you don't have to do that. This comes with 2 soles already, so you can get that. It definitely adds a little bit of height when you wear those. So I hope that the gentleman that made that video is a SoleSavy member, so he's gonna secure these pairs this weekend.
Yeah, so men, if you're looking for a couple inches to add in real life and on Tinder or whatever it was, these are your go-to pair of sneakers. Okay, so moving on from Nike, we are talking about Adidas, and Bad Bunny did a collab, the Response CL Core White and Yellow, releasing Thursday, March 10th at $160. Are these a buy or a pass?
It's gonna be a pass for me, but I do kind of like this white colorway. And I appreciate the fact that, I mean, Bad Bunny is one of the biggest artists in the world right now. And I like that Adidas is keeping this coming. The first few collabs he dropped on the forum were really hard to get, and I know people were bummed that they missed them. Now it's like, if you like Bad Bunny and you want some sneakers, you almost feels like you have a chance every couple of months. So I appreciate that, because a lot of times what happens with these brands is they introduce these shoes with these superstars and then nobody can get them. It's just FOMO forever. They're saying, yo, you want them? We're gonna keep them coming. So I appreciate that. It's a pass for me.
Yeah. So I am not in love with them. It's really giving me like 50, 60-year-old woman walking down the street in her walking running shoes, which I appreciate like mom and dad shoes. There's just nothing really like screaming at me that I need them. If I were to pick out of the two, obviously I would prefer the yellow pair, just because they're like bright and they stand out. I could totally see myself rocking them, but it's gonna be a pass on both of them for me, because there's really nothing that stands out. So I don't know, when it comes to Adidas, like, it's very hard for me to be like, I need these, or it's like a hard buy for me. So
no, I'm the same way. I think I've been a Nike guy for so long that I'm easing my way into new brands, but it's not every drop, right? It's like every now and then a new brand or another brand that I'm not, maybe don't have the biggest collection of, will pop out, and I'll need those. But I'm like you, I'm kind of easing into expanding my collection a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so moving on, talking about you, Deadass. This is a fun segment where we highlight and share our thoughts on the wildest stories that went viral this week. Honestly, this video, I turned it off before it was even over because it just pissed me off. So an IG user decided to turn his Air Force One sneakers into a watering can for his plants. And honestly, before he did that, like, the shoe looked cool. Like, I think it was like a little customized sneaker. There was like a little bit of detailing on it. But the user posted the video himself drilling holes into the toe box of the Air Force Ones. And then he filled them up with water and used the kicks as a watering can to water his plants. It's not only are you Deadass, but it's like, what is the reason? So what did you think about this? Did it piss you off like it pissed me off? Because I know I'm low-key still mad thinking about it.
Yeah, to me, I don't know if I'm as fired up as you about it, but we've gone to this point where like people create content with the intention of getting reposted, whether the content itself is makes sense or not. And I feel like that in sneakers is like times a million, right? If you do something silly to your sneakers, you cut them up, you paint them, you do something ridiculous, you're gonna get a repost, because, you know, I've worked in social for a long time. Engagement is engagement, but it's really incentivized just a lot of foolery on the TL, right? Like, this is not practical, necessary, or particularly cool, but of course we're talking about it, right? Because that's how you get it. That's how you get attention on social media these days, especially when it comes to sneakers. The other thing that I'm kind of getting fatigue about is like this whole like do it yourself, turning sneakers into like everything. Like, I seen one the other day that someone turned like a basketball into a lamp, and I was like, yo, that doesn't even look safe. Like, you have a light bulb inside of rubber, and like the swoosh was cut out. Like, again, I'm not trying to hate on people's, you know, artistic abilities or the creativity, but I think because sneakers have gotten so big and they're so repost worthy that everyone's like, well, what if I turn that into my sneaker into this? And I'm like, well, what if you don't, you know, like, it's like, it's not, is it worth the repost? I guess it could be, but this is a combination of two of like my least forms of favorite types of content. A, shock value content for the sake of it, and B, like unnecessary do-it-yourself content.
Yeah, I don't think I'm like so mad that it was done. Yeah. I'm just like over the whole like clout chasing thing of like just trying to get reposted. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's better sneaker content that can be done that doesn't have to be like doing the extreme just to get or go viral. You know what I mean? Like, there's better things that could be done. So yeah, I guess we kind of both feel the same on that. I'm just a little more passionate about how
I feel you though.
Okay, well, it was great talking to you. Of course, this is my favorite time of the week. We definitely miss Corey, but Corey will be back on our next show. So again, thank you for watching another episode of Unboxed Radio. If you like the show, make sure you guys hit that like button, leave us a comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys on the next show. Peace.
Thanks, y'all.